Exhausted single mom Maya fell asleep on a stranger's shoulder during her morning bus commute. When she woke up embarrassed and apologizing, she had no idea the kind man in the expensive suit was CEO Alexander Hayes, or that this moment of vulnerability would lead to the love story that saved them both. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Maya Chin hadn't slept more than 3 hours straight in weeks. Between her job at the diner, her evening shift cleaning offices, and taking care of her 4-year-old daughter Lily, sleep had become a luxury she couldn't afford. So when she finally collapsed into a seat on the 6 a.m. bus heading to her morning shift, exhaustion hit her like a wave. She tried to stay awake, really she did. But the gentle motion of the bus and the warmth from the heating vents made her eyelids heavy. Her head began to nod, and despite her best efforts to keep it upright, it slowly tilted to the right until it came to rest on something solid and warm. A shoulder. Maya was too tired to care whose shoulder it was. For the first time in months, she felt safe enough to truly rest, even if it was just for a few minutes on a city bus. What she didn't know was that the shoulder belonged to Alexander Hayes, CEO of Hayes Industries, one of the largest tech companies in the city. Alex was on his way to an important board meeting, wearing a $3,000 suit and carrying a briefcase full of documents that could make or break million-dollar deals. When Alex first felt the weight of someone's head on his shoulder, his instinct was to shift away. He was a private person, successful but solitary, who kept careful boundaries between himself and others. At 35, he built an empire but had never learned how to build relationships. Everyone wanted something from him: money, connections, opportunities, so he'd learned to keep people at arm's length. But something stopped him from moving away. Maybe it was the way the woman seemed to melt into sleep the moment her head touched his shoulder, as if her body was finally giving in to exhaustion it had been fighting for too long. Maybe it was the soft sigh she let out, like someone who had been holding their breath for weeks. Alex glanced down at her and felt his chest tighten. She was young, probably in her late 20s, with dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail and clothes that had seen better days. Her work shoes were worn thin, and he could see medical bandages on her fingertips, probably burns from restaurant work. Even in sleep, there were worry lines on her face that spoke of constant stress. This wasn't someone trying to get close to him for personal gain. This was someone so exhausted that she'd fallen asleep on a stranger's shoulder out of pure necessity. So Alex sat perfectly still, letting this tired woman rest against him while the bus made its way through the morning traffic. He missed his stop. Then he missed the next one. His phone buzzed with texts from his assistant asking where he was, but he ignored them all. For 35 minutes, Alexander Hayes, a man who controlled boardrooms and commanded respect from powerful people, sat motionless so a stranger could sleep. Maya woke up slowly, consciousness returning in fragments. She was warm and comfortable, more rested than she'd felt in months. It took her a moment to remember where she was, and when she did, horror washed over her. She was on a bus, her head was on someone's shoulder, and she could feel drool on her chin. Maya jerked upright, her face burning with embarrassment. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." She turned to apologize and found herself looking into the kindest eyes she'd ever seen. They belonged to a man in an expensive suit who was smiling at her with genuine warmth, not the annoyance or disgust she'd expected. "Please don't apologize," Alex said softly. "You looked like you needed the rest." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. She couldn't remember the last time someone had been kind to her without wanting something in return. "I'm so embarrassed. I've been working double shifts and I haven't been sleeping well and—" "You don't need to explain," Alex interrupted gently. "We all need rest." Maya looked around, suddenly realizing they were the only two people left on the bus. "What time is it? Oh no, I've missed my stop. I'm going to be late for work." Panic filled her voice. She couldn't afford to be late. Her manager at the diner had already warned her about punctuality, and she needed this job desperately. "Where do you work?" Alex asked. "Maybe I can help." "The Sunrise Diner on 5th Street. But it's okay, I'll figure it out. You've already been too kind." Maya stood up, grabbing her worn purse and preparing to get off at the next stop. "Sit down," Alex said firmly but kindly. "The Sunrise Diner is actually on my way. Let me give you a ride." Maya stared at him. "I couldn't possibly." "You can and you will," Alex said with a smile. "Consider it payment for the best sleep I've had in years." Maya looked confused. "You slept?" "No, but watching someone finally get the rest they desperately needed was surprisingly peaceful," Alex admitted. "I'm Alex, by the way. Alex Hayes." "Maya Chin," she replied, shaking his offered hand. His grip was firm but gentle, and she noticed his hands were soft, the hands of someone who'd never had to work in a kitchen or scrub floors until his knuckles bled. Alex called his driver, and within minutes, a sleek black car pulled up next to the bus stop. Maya had never been in a car that expensive, and she felt out of place in her faded uniform and scuffed shoes. "So what do you do, Alex?" Maya asked as they drove, trying to make conversation and ignore how comfortable the leather seats were. Alex hesitated. He could tell her the truth, that he was a CEO worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But something about Maya's genuine nature made him want to be just a regular person for a little while longer. "I work in business," he said vaguely. "What about you? Besides the diner, I mean." Maya laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Besides the diner? I clean offices at night, and on weekends I do some freelance bookkeeping when I can find clients. Single mom life means multiple jobs." "You have a child?" Maya's face lit up for the first time since Alex had met her. "A daughter. Lily. She's 4 years old and the most amazing little person in the world. She's staying with my neighbor Mrs. Rodriguez while I work. She wants to be a veterinarian when she grows up because she loves animals." Alex found himself smiling at the love in Maya's voice. "She sounds wonderful." "She is. She's the reason I do all this. Everything I do is for her." Maya's voice grew soft. "Her father left when she was 6 months old. Said he wasn't ready to be a dad. So it's just been me and Lily against the world." Alex felt a familiar ache in his chest. His own father had left when he was young, choosing business opportunities over family. His mother had worked multiple jobs to support them, and Alex remembered the exhaustion in her eyes, the same exhaustion he saw in Maya's. They pulled up in front of the Sunrise Diner and Maya turned to thank Alex, but he was already getting out of the car. "You don't need to walk me in," Maya protested. "I could use some coffee," Alex said with a shrug. The Sunrise Diner was exactly what Alex had expected. A small, worn-down place with cracked vinyl booths and fluorescent lighting. But it was clean and the smell of bacon and coffee was welcoming. Maya hurried to clock in while Alex took a seat at the counter. "Maya, you're cutting it close again," called out a heavy-set man from behind the grill. This had to be her manager. "Sorry, Ron. Traffic was bad," Maya called back, quickly tying her apron. Alex watched as Maya transformed into a different person at work. Despite her exhaustion, she smiled at customers, refilled coffee cups with efficiency, and moved through the cramped space with practiced grace. She was good at her job, professional and kind to everyone who came in. When Maya came to take his order, Alex asked for just coffee and toast. He wasn't hungry, but he wanted an excuse to stay and make sure Maya was okay. "You didn't have to come in," Maya said quietly as she poured his coffee. "But thank you. For everything." "Maya, can I ask you something?" She nodded, glancing around to make sure her manager wasn't watching. "Are you happy?" Alex asked. The question caught Maya off guard. No one had asked her that in years. Was she happy? She loved Lily more than life itself, and she was proud that she was providing for her daughter. But happy? Surviving, Maya said honestly. Some days that's the same thing as happiness. Alex's heart broke a little. This incredible woman, who worked herself to exhaustion to care for her child, who fell asleep on strangers' shoulders because she had no time to rest, deserved so much more than just survival. "What would make you happy?" he asked. Maya thought about it seriously. 8 hours of sleep. A day off to spend with Lily. Maybe enough money that I didn't have to choose between buying her new shoes and paying the electric bill. She laughed sadly. "Simple things really?" Alex nodded, filing away her words. "Maya, I know this might sound strange, but would you like to have dinner sometime? With Lily, I mean. All three of us." Maya stared at him. "Are you asking me on a date?" "I'm asking if you'd let me get to know you and your daughter better," Alex said carefully. "You seem like an amazing person and I'd like to be your friend." Friend. Maya hadn't had a real friend in years. Between work and Lily there was no time for relationships. But something about Alex made her want to trust him. "I don't really have time for." "When's your next day off?" Alex interrupted. "I don't really get days off. But I'm done here at 2 p.m. and I don't start my cleaning job until 6. "Perfect. Would you and Lily like to go to the zoo? I could pick you up after your shift." Maya wanted to say yes so badly it surprised her. When was the last time she'd done something fun with Lily? When was the last time she'd talked to another adult about something other than work? "I can't afford zoo tickets right now," she admitted, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. "My treat," Alex said immediately. "And before you say no, remember that I owe you for letting me share your shoulder this morning." Despite everything, Maya laughed. "You're strange, Alex Hayes." "Is that a yes?" Maya looked into his kind eyes and made a decision that terrified and excited her. It's a yes. That afternoon, Alex picked up Maya and Lily in his regular car. Not the company vehicle with a driver, but his personal SUV. He'd changed out of his expensive suit into jeans and a casual shirt, wanting to look approachable for Lily. Lily was exactly as wonderful as Maya had described. She was a tiny version of her mother with the same dark hair and bright eyes, but where Maya's face showed the stress of constant worry, Lily's was full of joy and curiosity. Are you Mommy's friend? Lily asked Alex directly as he helped her into her car seat. I hope so, Alex replied seriously. Is it okay if I'm your friend too? Lily considered this carefully. Do you like animals? I love animals. Do you know about elephants? I know a little. Do you know about elephants? I know lots about elephants. Lily launched into an enthusiastic explanation of elephant facts she'd learned from library books, and Alex listened with genuine interest, asking questions and acting impressed by her knowledge. Maya watched this interaction from the front seat, her heart doing something complicated in her chest. Lily had been asking about her father more lately, wondering why she didn't have a daddy like some of her friends. Maya had always assured her that they were complete as they were, just the two of them. But seeing Lily light up as she talked to Alex, seeing a man pay attention to her daughter with genuine interest rather than obligation, made Maya realize what they'd been missing. The zoo was magical. Alex had somehow arranged for them to have a private tour with one of the zookeepers, who let Lily feed the giraffes and taught her about conservation efforts. Lily was in heaven, asking a million questions and holding both Maya's and Alex's hands as they walked from exhibit to exhibit. How did you arrange all this? Maya asked Alex quietly while Lily was focused on the penguins. I made a phone call, Alex said vaguely. I know some people. What he didn't tell her was that he'd made a significant donation to the zoo and had spoken personally with the director. Alex was learning that his wealth and influence, which he'd always used for business purposes, could also be used to create joy for people he cared about. And he was definitely starting to care about Maya and Lily. After the zoo, Alex took them to dinner at a family restaurant where Lily could be loud and excited without anyone caring. Maya watched her daughter interact with Alex, saw how he listened to her stories and answered her questions with patience, and felt something she'd thought was dead begin to stir in her chest. Oh, Alex, Maya said as he drove them home, Lily asleep in her car seat. It was the best day Lily and I have had in a long time. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of it, Alex replied. I had a wonderful time. Can I ask you something? Anything. What do you really do for work? And don't say business. You paid for a private zoo tour, you have a driver, and your clothes cost more than I make in a month. You're not just some regular guy. Alex had been dreading this question. You're right. I'm not just some regular guy. He took a deep breath. I'm the CEO of Hayes Industries. Maya went very quiet. Hayes Industries was huge, everyone in the city knew the name. Their building dominated the downtown skyline. You're a millionaire, Maya said flatly. Yes. And you spent your day at the zoo with a single mom and her 4-year-old. Yes. Why? Alex pulled up in front of Maya's apartment building, a rundown complex in a neighborhood that made him worry for their safety. Because this morning, a tired woman fell asleep on my shoulder, and for the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Maya stared at him. Alex, we live in completely different worlds. You could have anyone. I don't want anyone, Alex interrupted. I want you. I want Lily. I want to be part of your world, Maya, if you'll let me. I don't understand. Alex turned to face her fully. I've spent my entire adult life building a company, making money, achieving success. But I've been completely alone. I have everything money can buy and nothing that actually matters. Today, watching Lily's face when she saw the elephants, seeing you smile without worrying about bills or work schedules, that was the happiest I've ever been. Maya felt tears in her eyes. Alex, I can't be your charity case. You're not, Alex said firmly. You're the strongest, most incredible woman I've ever met. You work 3 jobs to take care of your daughter. You put everyone else first. You fell asleep on a stranger's shoulder because you literally have no time to rest, and yet you still smiled at every customer today. You're not my charity case, Maya. You're my inspiration. Lily stirred in her car seat, and Maya realized they'd been sitting in the car talking for 20 minutes. I should get her inside, Maya said softly. Maya, Alex called as she was getting out. Would you like to do this again? Maybe next weekend? Maya looked back at him, this impossibly kind man who could have anyone but somehow wanted her. I'd like that very much. Over the next few weeks, Alex became a regular part of Maya and Lily's lives. He would pick them up after Maya's diner shift, and they'd spend afternoons together. Sometimes doing fun activities like the children's museum or the park, sometimes just hanging out at Maya's apartment while Lily played and Maya caught up on rest. Alex learned to braid Lily's hair and helped her with the alphabet. He listened to Maya's stories about difficult customers and exhausting days, and slowly, Maya began to trust that he was genuinely interested in her life, not just trying to fix it. But Alex was trying to fix things in his own way. He quietly paid Maya's landlord to make repairs to her apartment. He arranged for grocery deliveries that Maya thought were from a new community program. He set up a college fund for Lily that Maya knew nothing about. The truth came out on a Thursday evening when Maya came home from her cleaning job to find Alex in her apartment with Lily, both of them covered in flour and laughing. "We made cookies," Lily announced proudly. "Alex taught me how to measure." "The apartment smells amazing," Maya said, kissing Lily's forehead. "What's the occasion?" "No occasion," Alex said, but Maya could tell he was nervous about something. Lily wanted to try baking. After they put Lily to bed, Maya confronted Alex about the repairs to her apartment, the mysteriously paid bills and the grocery deliveries. "How did you find out?" Alex asked, not bothering to deny it. "My landlord let it slip." "Alex, you can't just pay for my life." "Why not?" Alex asked, genuinely confused. "I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. You're working yourself to death. Why shouldn't I help?" "Because I need to know that you care about me, not just fixing me," Maya said, tears in her eyes. "I need to know that this isn't some kind of rescue fantasy." Alex pulled her into his arms. "Maya, I fell for you when you were just a tired woman who fell asleep on my shoulder. Before I knew anything about your struggles or your strength. I don't want to rescue you, I want to build a life with you." "A life?" Alex got down on one knee right there in Maya's tiny living room, pulling out a ring box that had been burning a hole in his pocket for weeks. "Maya-chan, will you marry me? Will you let me be Lily's father and your husband? Will you let me love you both for the rest of my life?" Maya stared at him, her heart pounding. "Alex, we've only known each other for 2 months." "I know. It's crazy. But Maya, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I love you. I love Lily. I want to wake up every morning knowing that you're both safe and happy and loved. What about your company? Your lifestyle? We don't fit into your world. Then we'll build a new world," Alex said simply. "One where Lily gets to go to the best schools and you never have to choose between sleep and paying bills. One where we're a family." Maya looked at this incredible man who had changed everything simply by letting her rest on his shoulder. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I'll marry you." 6 months later, Maya walked down the aisle of a small church, wearing a simple but beautiful dress and carrying wildflowers. Lily was her maid of honor, practically bouncing with excitement in her flower girl dress. In the front row sat Mrs. Rodriguez, who had become like a grandmother to Lily, and several of Maya's co-workers from the diner. Alex had tried to invite important business contacts, but Maya had insisted on keeping it small and real. As they exchanged vows, Alex promised to love and protect both Maya and Lily, to never let them feel alone or unsafe again. Maya promised to let him love them, to build a partnership based on trust and equality. "You know," Alex said during their first dance, "I used to think success meant having the biggest office and the most zeros in my bank account. And now?" Maya asked, looking around at their small wedding reception where Lily was teaching Alex's assistant how to do cartwheels. "Now I know success is falling asleep next to someone you love and waking up knowing you get to see their face every day for the rest of your life." Maya laughed. "That's very poetic for a CEO. I learned it from a wise woman who fell asleep on my shoulder," Alex said, spinning her around. "She taught me that sometimes the best things happen when you stop trying to control everything and just let life surprise you." 2 years later, Alex still took the bus to work sometimes, though now he had a different reason. Maya had gone back to school to become a nurse, and they'd arranged their schedules so they could commute together. Lily, now 6 and thriving in her new school, thought it was hilarious that her dad was a bus rider CO. On one particular morning, as Maya rested her head on Alex's shoulder during their ride to work, now from habit and affection rather than exhaustion, Alex marveled at how different his life had become. He still ran Hayes Industries, but now he ran it with purpose beyond profit. The company had started several programs supporting single parents, providing childcare and flexible schedules. Alex had learned that using his success to lift others up was far more satisfying than just accumulating wealth. Maya worked as a pediatric nurse at the children's hospital, A job she loved and was brilliant at. She no longer worked multiple jobs or worried about bills. She had time to read Lily bedtime stories and help with homework. She had time to pursue her own dreams. And Lily was thriving. She still wanted to be a veterinarian, but now she also wanted to be a CEO like her dad and a nurse like her mom. She had a college fund, a stable home, and most importantly, 2 parents who adored her. "What are you thinking about?" Maya asked, noticing Alex's contemplative mood. "I was thinking about that first morning," Alex said. "How you fell asleep on my shoulder. My most embarrassing moment turned out to be my luckiest moment," Maya said with a smile. "Mine too," Alex agreed. "Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had moved away when you first leaned on me. We probably would have found each other some other way," Maya said confidently. "People who are meant to be together always find a way." Alex kissed the top of her head, breathing in the scent of her shampoo and feeling the familiar warmth of contentment that had become his normal state since Maya and Lily entered his life. "You know what the best part is?" he said. "What?" "I get to be your shoulder to lean on for the rest of our lives." Maya looked up at him with those same bright eyes that had first caught his attention, but now they weren't filled with exhaustion and worry. Now they were filled with love and joy and the security of knowing she was exactly where she belonged. "And I get to be yours," she said, settling back against his shoulder as the bus carried them toward another day in their beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary life together. Outside the windows, the city rushed by, the same city where a struggling single mother had once fallen asleep on a stranger's shoulder and woken up to find that sometimes the most unexpected moments lead to the most perfect love stories.